The two of the most popular methods to paying down debt are the Snowball method and the Avalanche method. In today's video, we're going to deep dive into these two methods to see what might be the best debt payoff strategy might be for you. Hi, if you're new to the channel, my name is Tay from Financial Tortoise, where we learn to grow our wealth slow and steady. Before we deep dive into two debt paydown strategies, if you will allow me a moment to step on my soapbox, I want to talk first about debt in general. For many of us living in the United States, debt has become a normal way of life. How do we purchase a car? We get a car loan. How do we fund education? We get a student loan. How do we buy groceries? We put it on our credit card. However, if we want to build wealth and achieve financial independence, we have to change our perspective on debt. Debt, from my perspective, is the #1 wealth killer here in America. When I was 28 years old, I took on $85,000 in student debt to pay for my MBA program. I had much smarter classmates who didn't take on any student loans because they either had their former employer sponsor their program, or they found future employers who would pay down their student loans as part of their sign-on bonus. I wasn't that bright, so I did neither. I spent the next 3.5 years paying down my student loans with the help of my wife. God bless her. And I'll be honest, those 3.5 years were not fun at all. We had to cut back on everything in order to find extra money to pay down our debt quicker. We didn't go out to eat. We didn't buy new clothes. We didn't take any vacations. Though we were successful in our debt paydown, I told myself after that experience that I would never want to be in that position again. And what was worse was that in those times, we weren't really growing our net worth at all. We were just trying to get back to zero because our net worth was actually negative. It was only after we were to unburden ourselves with this debt that we were able to focus on building our wealth, being able to save for our investments and allowing compounding to work for us versus against us. If you're watching this video, I assume you want to build wealth, to achieve financial independence one day so you can have the freedom and the resources to pursue what you really want to do. However, in order to do that, we have to reframe how we look at debt. Debt should not be considered normal. More so, debt should be considered a #1 wealth killer and should have no place in our financial life. Alright, with that said, if you do have debt in your life, let's jump into figuring out what debt paydown strategies to pursue. First, let's talk about the debt snowball method. The debt snowball method is a debt reduction strategy where you pay off the debt in order of smallest to largest regardless of the interest rate. The main focus is on the momentum you gain as you knock out each remaining balance, just like the way a snowball gains momentum when rolling down a hill. The biggest benefit of the snowball method is the way it sets you up for early success. Since you start by paying off your smallest debt first, you get rid of an entire account balance sooner than with the alternate approach. It focuses more on the confidence it provides you to keep you going. Here's a step-by-step on how it works. Step 1, list all your debts in order from the smallest current balance to largest current balance. Ignore the interest rate. What matters is the size of the balance, not how high the interest rate is. Step 2, make minimum payments on all the debt except the smallest. Step 3, and this is the real magic of the debt snowball method, pay as much as possible on the smallest debt. Step 4, rinse and repeat. After the first debt is paid off, apply all the money that you were putting towards your first debt to your second debt. You keep doing this until each debt on your list is fully paid off. The beauty of this system is that as you go from paying off your smallest debt to your largest debt, the money you're putting towards your debt is increasing in size as well. This is because you're collecting minimums as you pay off the smaller debts and putting them towards the bigger debts. It's also accelerating the rate in which you can pay down the debt. Yet the amount you're putting towards debt in total each month isn't changing. This is because you're still spending the same amount you've set aside from your budget, and you're paying the same amount of minimum along the way. So it's the same debt payment output month after month. The payments are just being grouped together, so you're focusing on one debt at a time. Alright, let's take a look at the debt avalanche method. The avalanche method would have you pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first, regardless of the balance. The reason why you want to do this is that you want to pay off the more expensive debt first. From a mathematical perspective, this is the most logical approach. Higher the interest rate we're accruing by not paying it off quicker. And if you have debt with super high interest rate, such as credit card debt, this method makes perfect sense since the interest rate is compounding so quickly against you. To apply the avalanche method, you would use the same 4 steps outlined earlier in the snowball method, except you prioritize paying off the highest interest rate debt first. List your debt in order of highest to lowest interest rate. Then pay the minimum payment towards each of them except the account with the highest interest rate. To this account, you would apply any additional money you have to pay down the debt. You rinse and repeat until you pay down all your debt. Before we get to the big question of which strategy is better, I want to talk about automation a bit. For both the snowball and the avalanche method to work well, you want to automate your process as much as possible. And this is because when you have automated your payments, it reduces the amount of manual work you have to do each month. Imagine if you have to write individual checks each month to each outstanding debt. You'll quickly lose steam and momentum. If you've done the math ahead of time and you know that you'll have a certain number of payments for a certain number of months, just set it and forget it. Then you can have your bank send you a notification when the balance is paid off, and you can get right to work rolling that money over to the next debt. All right, with that said, let's get to the big question. What is better? Or more specifically, what is better for you? When you look at the problem from a pure logical mathematical perspective, the Avalanche method makes sense. If you have two outstanding debts, one with 4% interest rate and the other 8%, it makes sense to pay off the 8% one first, given you'll pay less interest in the long run. However, from a behavioral perspective, which method will keep you motivated and on track? Does the small, quick wins of the debt snowball method give you the big motivation to keep going? Or does the feeling of paying less in interest excite you more? This is a personal question only you can decide. But let me share with you my personal take on this and what I prefer. For me, I prefer the debt snowball method over the debt avalanche method, and here's why. Money, regardless of what economists or numbers nerds would say, is more about emotion rather than logic. I mean, if I was really logical with money, I would have never gotten myself under $85,000 of student loans in first place. Behavior matters more when it comes to building wealth rather than the right investments or optimized forecast projections. And debt snowball works because it's all about changing your behavior. I know this because this was the method that my wife and I followed when we started paying off our student loans. We listed all our debt from the smallest one to the largest one on a spreadsheet, regardless of the interest rate, and we started tackling the smallest one first. Because it was so small, we were able to knock out the smallest one pretty much within a matter of weeks. When I saw the debt crossed out, it gave my wife and I a sense of progress, and more importantly, the motivation to keep going. If we had tackled the one with the largest interest rate first, I guarantee we would have lost steam pretty quickly given its sheer size. We would see the number going down, but pretty soon we would have lost the motivation to keep going because it's so big. Progress is a huge motivator, and small wins are crucial to providing that progress. And when we see our debt snowball method working, we'll be more likely to stick with it. But if you're on the fence about which method to try both. There really is no wrong method as long as you're making progress. You can even combine both depending on the debt paydown phase that you're in. Tackling the highest interest rate one first because you can't stomach the idea of paying down so much in interest. Then you can switch to the debt snowball method because you just need some small wins in your life. Just like the tortoise in Tortoise and Hare, it's all about progress, not speed. If you're making progress in your debt paydown journey, this is something to be celebrated. Thank you guys for watching. If you'd like to hear other thoughts on how to pay down your debt quickly and efficiently, check out my video here. Until next time, all the best.